Welcome back, everybody. This Week in America, website thisweekinamerica.us. As mentioned, our guest on the program tonight is Jim Kirwan. Jim is the founder and former CEO of TrySports and the creator of Get America Moving. He came to the United States from Ireland in 2003 to set up TrySports, a specialty retail business focused on the aerobic activities of walking, running, swimming, cycling, fitness, and triathlon. He stepped down as CEO of TrySports at the end of 2012. So concerned about the many health problems facing America, he is now on a mission to get America moving. At the start of 2014, he created the website Get America Moving and the Movement. And Jim is so passionate about his mission, he's taken to the airwaves all across the country to talk about it. His first book, The Exercise Factor, now available. It shows you how to ease into the best shape of your life, regardless of your age, weight, or current fitness level. Jim is a graduate of the University College Dublin with a business degree. He worked for 18 years with Ireland's leading bank, the Bank of Ireland, in a wide range of personnel management roles. After 3 years in London, he left the bank in 1990 to set up his first business, a successful personnel management consultancy based in Dublin. He did this for 12 years before moving to America to set up TrySports. He's with us on This Week in America. Jim, welcome to the program. Great to have you with us.
Thank you. What a wonderful introduction.
Well, it's great. And I do that because you were so successful in your business career. Yet in 2003, you decided, I'm going to pick up and go to the United States and try to get people moving over there. You came here to Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, starting a new business, TrySports. Why did you decide to do that, to leave a very successful career behind over in Europe and come here to the U.S.?
Well, my passion has always been exercise and fitness, and I needed a change. I wanted to do something which really related to my passion. And at that time, I had become a triathlete and had been really involved in triathlons for about 10, maybe 12 years. And I decided I wanted to do something relating to that sport. And America seemed like the right place to be. But I always felt that triathlon by itself was not really a commercially viable business. And I was more interested, to be honest, in getting people to try, T-R-Y, not T-R-I, to try these activities and to get into, a healthy lifestyle through walking, running, swimming, cycling, the exercises that you mentioned. So that was the if you like, the background to why I came to America. And I'm really glad I did, because I love it here.
When you got here in 2003, you say in the book, The Exercise Factor, ease into the best shape of your life, regardless of your age, weight, or current fitness level. When you got here, you said you found an inactivity epidemic. Talk about what you found when you got here and how that motivated you even more.
Well, let me put it this way. I got involved in a lot of different events, but there was one that stood out for me. It's called the Healthy Charleston Challenge. And that is our local version of The Biggest Loser. But it is run by the Medical University of South Carolina's wellness department. So it's a very well recognized and regarded wellness program. It's for overweight and obese people. And I've spoken at that event, that challenge, for the last 7 or 8 years, on 15 occasions. And every time I speak, I have to do some homework. I have to do some research. And it was that work, that research, that really opened my eyes to the problems that we're facing in America, things like obesity, diabetes, Alzheimer's, to name just a few. And I strongly believe that these problems, these health problems, are, if you like, underpinned by inactivity. The vast majority of Americans don't exercise enough, and I believe it's the inactivity that is largely responsible for the problems that we face.
Our guest on This Week in America is Jim Kirwan. He is the author of the book, The Exercise Factor. Ease into the best shape of your life, regardless of your age, weight, or current fitness level. The book is available all across the country. Information at our website, thisweekinamerica.us. And Jim's website is very simple, getamericamoving.com. A link for that also available at our website. I love the title of the book because it says it all. So many people think I almost have to do pre-exercise before I do exercise because I'm so badly out of shape. And you're emphasizing whether you're at the right weight or whether you're obese, there's something to be gained for exercise. There's a positive, and you need to ease into it, and you'll feel a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. Firstly, you have to exercise if you want to be healthy. That really is undisputed. There is nobody who will argue against that. If they do, frankly, they're wrong. So if you understand that you have to exercise, then you have to ask, well, okay, where am I right now? And unfortunately, a lot of people use, their weight or their age or their current lack of fitness sometimes as an excuse for making progress and moving forward. And I want to say to those people, look, you can change. You can draw a line in the sand and you can move forward. And it doesn't matter if you're older. It doesn't matter if you're heavy, overweight, and it doesn't matter if you're currently inactive. You can start today, start afresh, but it is really important that you ease into this. You don't have to kill yourself. It's not about doing aggressive, athletic activity, which I think a lot of people sort of perceive that they have to go at it as if they were a sports person. No, it's not like that. It's about just taking into account where you are and making gradual progress, step by step, day by day, week by week.
And in the book, you talk about it's not just losing weight, and we all like to see weight reduction. We like to see muscles firmed up. And you're talking about it's quality of life as well. It's possibly extending your life expectancy. There are a lot more things than just advantages to this than just losing the weight.
Absolutely. I mean, but we can do both. We can improve both the quantity of our life, but also the quality of our life. I mean, from a quantitative point of view, it's absolutely clear that if we exercise consistently and regularly, we can increase our life expectancy. It's undisputed. There's no guarantees, of course, but on average, we're talking about on average here. But equally, from a qualitative perspective, we want to postpone aging. We want to postpone the onset of illness. We want to avoid heart disease. We want to avoid, dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever as we get older. And we can sort of reverse the aging accelerator, to use that expression, and we can, do these things. It's all about our mindset and making the decision that this is something that we really want to do.
Jim Kirwan, our guest on the program, we talked about the reasons that he moved to the United States and opened the business TrySports back in 2003. One of the motivating factors was your father, who I think you were like a young man when your father passed away. And that to this day has had a significant impact on your life. Talk about that and how that really molded who you are today.
Well, I was 20. I had just passed my 20th birthday. In fact, I was out celebrating my 20th birthday with some pals, and I came home at midnight. It was the 10th of May, 1975. So it's nearly 40 years ago. And we'd been out, we'd had a few drinks, we'd had a few pints of Guinness. This was in Ireland. And I needed to go to the bathroom. And as I went, I passed my parents' bedroom. The light was on. The door was slightly ajar. My dad was standing with his back to me about 5 yards away as I passed. And I never said good night. I don't know why, but I regret it. And I have regretted it for the last 40 years, because the next morning when I woke up, my sister told me that my mum had taken Dad to the local hospital. And remember, this was back in the 70s, so there were no cell phones, and we had to wait for what seemed like an eternity when eventually a car rolled up outside, and I was shocked when only my mum stood up. And as she turned to walk towards the house, I knew from her body language, I knew from her face that Dad wasn't coming home. And what had happened was that he had died very quickly from a massive coronary in the ER, and there was nothing that they could do for him. Now, he was 47, he was a non-smoker, didn't drink, he was probably 10, 15 pounds overweight, under a little bit of stress. But the one thing I know for sure about my dad is he didn't exercise. He retired from around the age of at around the age of 32, and for the next 15 years, bar the odd game of golf and the occasional walk, that was it. You know, he'd be 86 if he was alive today, so I see it as 40 lost years. And this is, for me, probably the primary motivation for the way I am and why I do what I do.
Jim Kirwan, our guest on This Week in America. Jim's book is called The Exercise Factor. Ease into the best shape of your life, regardless of your age, weight, or current fitness level. Book available all across the country. Information available at Jim's website, getamericamoving.com. Of course, you can go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and be able to link on directly to Jim's website. So you're here in the U.S., successful once again, CEO of TrySports, and you decide, okay, I'm going to move on to something else now, and you start. The new mission is Get America Moving, and then you write the book, The Exercise Factor. Talk about Get America Moving and the motivation behind that and how it's grown to what it is today, which is, again, is another successful operation you've got going. You've had a number of these. You keep going out and taking on new challenges and conquering them.
Well, in some respects, I feel that life is about challenges and wanting to do something that you really want to do. And, Get America Moving is something that I am passionate about. I've been here 11 years, and I described earlier how I've seen the problems that are there, but I also see the opportunity. I see, I see what's possible for people to change their lives and to increase their life expectancy and to improve the quality of their life and to have a better life with their families. And I just want to make a contribution to that. And so I'm very motivated. I hope it comes across that I'm passionate, and that sort of drives me to work hard at what I do. And I can't be accused of not trying to put those, the TrySports sort of emphasis or theme on it. I try and I want to keep trying. And, that in some respects, that's all we can do. But this is really important to me.
And you come at it from a very realistic standpoint, and you say, this is not a quick fix. You have to put some work, some effort into it. And in the book, you talk about key drivers. You've got exercise, nutrition, knowledge, and the X factor. We're going to run out of time before we get to everything on this program, but we'll have Jim back. In talking about exercise, which is driver number one, you say one of the key things to getting started, well, you call it the secret sauce to a long, high-quality life. You say really the first thing is what? Change the mindset. You mentioned the obstacles, and you have 13 in the book, the exercise factor that you talk about. Do you find once you change the mindset and you make exercise a factor, suddenly it's not something we're trying to fit in at a certain part of the day, but we fit the rest of the day around the exercise that we have planned?
Yeah, it has to become a high priority in your life. If it's a low priority, like all other low priorities, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't get done. It's pushed to the back of the line. And I think that's what happens for so many people. They don't find the time. Other things get in the way. But if you observe people who are fit and healthy and who like their exercise, they've no trouble finding that time. So the message is probably pretty clear. You have to make a decision that this is going to be important in your life. And there's all kinds of reasons why you would want to do that, but you have to make this decision. And once you do, then it becomes a high priority for you. And that's kind of half the battle nearly.
You also talk about nutrition, knowledge, and the X factor. Let's talk a little bit. We're not going to get to the X factor, but there's a recipe that you sort of follow without giving too much away about the X factor. This is sort of the key to making this whole thing work. This is taking everything you've learned in exercise, nutrition, knowledge, and implementing it and making it work for you.
That's right. So the recipe is an acronym. And just to give you a couple of them, C is for cause. If you can find a really great cause to inspire you to do this, you are much more likely to succeed. So, for example, in my case, it's easy because I've got my father to inspire me. Every single day, I keep at this because of his legacy, so to speak. If you don't have one as obvious as that, maybe it could be your kids or your grandkids or your spouse, your partner, your parents. Find a cause, a charitable cause. But if you can find this cause to inspire you, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. I is for involved. Don't do this by yourself. Find other people, a group, a team, your colleagues in work, your friends, your family. Get involved. Do it with other people. And again, for those two things alone are going to make your life so much easier, and you're much more likely to achieve the objectives that you're going to set yourself.
You will find all this information in Jim Kirwan's book, The Exercise Factor, Ease into the Best Shape of Your Life, regardless of your age, weight, or current fitness level. The book's available at getamericamoving.com, available at Amazon as well. Jim, I know you've got a special book offer for listeners to try to spread the word to get America moving.
Well, it's very simple, really. All they need to do is go to getamericamoving.com/book, and they will get the book at a special price. I will sign it. We'll put it in the mail straight away. The price includes shipping, so they don't have to worry about the shipping. And they'll also get a bonus of 4 information videos. So it's a really cool deal. I believe the book is a great book, and they'll really enjoy the book and help them get on their way to health and fitness.
There's so much in the book, and like I said, Jim will be back on another program, so much more to talk about. Part 1, we've talked about the aging and the connection between aging and exercise. Part 1 is titled, You Can Choose to Bypass Normal Aging, and you talk a lot about that basically as soon as you stop exercising, we start the aging process really in high speed, don't we?
Unfortunately we do, and this is, I believe, what happened to my dad. When you hit your early 30s, you actually start losing muscle mass very quickly. And for the next 30 years, you probably lose it between 0.5% and 1% a year. So by the time you hit 60, you can have lost nearly 30% of your muscle mass. That's a lot of muscle. And the reason we lose it, I believe, is because we stop exercising. There's a sort of a correlation in terms of when we stop exercising the way my dad did, and then what begins to happen, the degeneration, if you like, of your body. And we don't have to let that happen. And you don't have to be pumping, iron and big heavy weights or anything like that. It's just about maintaining your strength so you can continue to do the things that you want to do. So yeah, I really feel strongly about it, that we can control our destiny, if you like, by the actions that we take.
Got about a minute left in the program. Why is it that and you ask this question in the book, The Exercise Factor, why is it that when we get to the mid-30s in that period there, we sort of give up on exercising, walk away from it? I'm not quite sure what the answer is to that. Have you found answers in talking with people?
Well, I think what tends to happen is when we get into our 30s, we're no longer as competitive as we used to be. We're not able to, especially for men, we're not able to compete with the teenagers and the folks in their 20s. And so it seems like a logical time for us to sort of throw in the boots, stop playing football, stop playing basketball, stop doing these sort of competitive sports. But what a lot of people seem to do is to stop everything, and there's no need for them to do that. They can continue to exercise without, it's okay for them to stop playing in my case it was rugby or the football, the basketball or the baseball, but they can continue to exercise and no reason for them to stop. I think it's a cultural thing.
It's interesting. In the book, you quote Dr. Kenneth Cooper, we don't stop exercising because we grow older. We grow old because we stop exercising, and that's a great place to leave the program. The book is called The Exercise Factor, Ease into the Best Shape of Your Life, regardless of your age, weight, or current fitness level. Ease is a key word there because it's something you don't have to jump all into. Life isn't going to change in the next 48 hours. This is a process that once you take part of, you can be part of it for the rest of your life. Our guest on the program is Jim Kirwan. Jim, once again, where should they go to get information on the book and get the special package you talked about?
So, getamericamoving.com/book, BOOK.
It's very simple, and information you can link on directly at our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Jim, a pleasure having you on the program. We look forward to having you back. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
It's been our pleasure. You're listening to This Week in America, website thisweekinamerica.us.